You've had 2, maybe 3 incredible dates. The connection is electric, the conversation just flows, and for the first time in a long time, you actually feel a genuine spark. You're already thinking about date number 4, date number 5, and where this could all be heading. And then, it happens. Her texts get shorter, she's suddenly busy, she feels distant. And that familiar, cold knot of anxiety starts to tighten in your stomach. What did I do wrong? If you're like most guys, you panic. Your first instinct is to chase. You text more, you ask what's wrong, you try to force that connection back to what it was just a few days ago. That is the single biggest mistake you can make. And it's probably the reason you've lost women you were genuinely excited about in the past. Her pulling away isn't always a rejection. Sometimes it functions as a test. It's a critical moment that reveals your confidence, your stability, and what some call your masculine frame. And in this video, I'm going to show you the one immediate move you have to make that not only demonstrates this core confidence, but is also the only thing that has a real shot at pulling her back in, stronger than before. This isn't about playing games. This is about understanding the fundamental dynamics of attraction that most men are never taught. Before we get to the solution, you have to understand the problem. And a lot of the time, the problem is your reaction. It's that panic-driven response that's hardwired into us when we feel like we're losing something we value. When a woman you're excited about suddenly goes cold, your brain can interpret it as a threat. A threat to your ego, a threat to a potential relationship, and a threat to your sense of self-worth. This kicks off a disastrous chain reaction. Your anxiety spikes, and your mind starts racing. Was it something I said? Did she meet someone else? Maybe if I just remind her of that joke we shared, she'd snap out of it. This whole internal monologue is fueled by a deep-seated fear of loss, and it pushes you to do things that are the exact opposite of what's attractive. You start double texting. First, it's just a casual follow-up. When that's met with a short reply, or even worse, silence, the panic escalates. You send another message, maybe a meme or a link to a song, just desperately trying to get back the vibe you had. You're looking for validation. You're pleading for a sign that everything is okay. Then comes the dreaded question, "Hey, is everything all right between us?" Or worse, "Did I do something to upset you?" Now you might think this is a mature, communicative way to handle things. To her, especially early on, it just screams insecurity. It tells her that your emotional stability is completely dependent on her approval. You've just handed her all your power. A man who is secure in himself doesn't need constant reassurance. His peace of mind isn't so fragile that a few hours of silence can completely shatter it. This neediness is the fastest killer of attraction. Women, especially high-value women with options, are often looking for a man who is a rock. They are subconsciously scanning for emotional strength and stability. They want a man whose world doesn't crumble just because she's having a busy week or needs a moment to herself. When you bombard her with texts and questions, you are showing her that you are not that rock. You're communicating that your emotional state is now her responsibility, which is an immense amount of pressure and a deeply unattractive burden for anyone to carry. Guys fail in these moments when they react emotionally instead of responding with stability. Losing your cool, begging for attention, or acting needy kills attraction faster than anything. Your panic sends a clear signal. You've placed her on a pedestal. Your happiness now depends on her, and you lack a strong center of your own. You've become just like every other guy who fell apart when they didn't get the validation they craved. And just like that, the intrigue and the respect she was starting to feel for you can vanish. Here's the fundamental truth that will shift your entire perspective on dating. When a woman pulls away in the early stages, it is very often not a final, personal rejection. Think of it more like a filter. Now this isn't some conscious manipulative game she's playing. It's often an ingrained, almost instinctual process. People are naturally drawn to stability and strength in a partner. They need to know if the person they're considering is emotionally resilient or if they'll crack under the slightest pressure. Think about it. Words are cheap. Any guy can say he's confident. Any guy can be charming and fun for a few dates when everything's going perfectly. But a woman's subconscious might be asking deeper questions. Can this man handle pressure? Will he stay centered when things aren't perfect? Does his confidence come from within, or does he need my constant approval to feel good about himself? Her pulling away, whether it's through delayed texts, being a little less enthusiastic, or just needing space, creates a small moment of tension. It's a micro-stress test, and how you respond reveals everything. The insecure man panics. He sees the distance as a problem he has to fix right now. He chases, he questions, he apologizes for things he didn't even do. He fails because he reveals his emotional core is hollow and relies on her to be filled. The secure man, the man with a strong sense of self, responds differently. He doesn't react emotionally. He doesn't see it as a crisis. He understands that attraction needs space to breathe. He recognizes that she is an individual with her own life, her own moods, and her own world that doesn't always revolve around him. Her pulling back isn't a threat to his identity. This dynamic is especially true in the early stages of dating, when you're still figuring each other out. These subtle shifts are a natural part of the process as both people explore boundaries and confidence. It's not about malice. It's about gathering information. A woman needs to know if the man she's investing her time and emotions in can handle life. A guy who gets rattled by a delayed text is unlikely to be a source of strength when real challenges come up. So when she pulls away, she could be busy, stressed, or even losing interest. But your reaction will be interpreted regardless. The biggest mistake you can make is seeing this distance and thinking, it's over. That desperation then makes it over. The truth is, this moment of distance is your single greatest opportunity to display high value. It's your chance to prove, through your actions, that you are a man of unshakable confidence. And you do that by making one powerful, counterintuitive move. This is where it all comes together. The one move you must make when she pulls away is, paradoxically, to do nothing. But let's be clear, this is not a weak, passive nothing. This is a powerful, strategic, and intentional nothing. It's an active choice that comes from confidence and self-respect, and it breaks down into 3 key steps. Your first, immediate action is inaction. When you feel her energy pull back, you don't push forward to fill that gap. You pull back too. You simply match her energy. If she was texting you every hour and now it's every few hours, you don't start texting her every 30 minutes. You let the new pace settle in. If her replies become shorter, you don't respond with paragraphs trying to pull her back into a long chat. You keep your own replies concise and valuable. This isn't about being cold or playing petty games. It's about demonstrating a fundamental principle of social value. You don't invest more than the other person is investing in you. Chasing her when she's clearly signaling she needs space is like a salesman desperately lowering his price again and again after the customer has already walked away. It just cheapens the product. And in this case, the product is your attention. By doing nothing, you create a vacuum. You give her the space to actually experience your absence. This is critical. Attraction can't grow without space. She needs a chance to wonder where you are. She needs to wonder what you're doing. She needs to ask herself, why isn't he chasing me like every other guy? That silence from you says more than any desperate text ever could. It communicates that your life is full, your time is valuable, and your emotional state isn't dependent on her constant validation. Most guys can't handle this silence. The anxiety is too much. They have to check in. They need to fix it. But the man who can sit comfortably in that silence, who can give her space without panicking, is demonstrating immense strength. You are showing her, not telling her, that you are secure. This is the first and most critical part of handling this situation. You have to be willing to risk losing her in the short term to win her respect and attraction in the long term. Doing nothing externally doesn't mean doing nothing internally. This period is not for you to sit by your phone, anxiously waiting for it to light up. This is your cue to immediately and aggressively shift your focus back to the most important person in your life, you. This is the time to get back to your mission. Your frame is your reality, your purpose, your life's mission. It's the unshakable foundation of your identity that exists completely independent of anyone else. A man with a strong frame has a life he is passionate about. He has goals he's chasing, a body he's strengthening, a mind he's cultivating, and friends he values. A woman is a wonderful, beautiful addition to his life, but she is not the center of it. The guy who panics makes the woman the center of his universe. When she pulls away, his universe collapses. The confident man makes his purpose the center. When a woman pulls away, his universe remains perfectly intact. So what does this actually look like? The moment you feel that anxiety creeping in, you channel that energy into something productive. Go to the gym and have the best workout of your week. Get to work on that project you've been putting off and make real progress. Call up your friends, your real friends, and organize something. Don't just sit around complaining about her. Go do something active and engaging. Pick up that hobby you let slide. The point is not to pretend you have a life to make her jealous. The point is to actually have a life. When you are genuinely engaged with your own purpose, two magical things happen. First, your anxiety about her naturally fades, because your mind is occupied with things you can actually control and that bring you fulfillment. You stop obsessing because you have better things to do. Second, you become infinitely more attractive. A man driven by purpose exudes a powerful magnetic energy. He isn't needy because he gets his validation from his own achievements and his own path. Women are deeply drawn to this. They want to be a part of a man's exciting world. They do not want to be his world. So when she pulls away, don't see it as a crisis. See it as a reminder to get back on your throne and focus on building your kingdom. This final step is the most advanced and the most powerful. It's the mindset that holds all of this together. To truly navigate this situation with strength, you must be genuinely willing to lose her. This isn't a bluff or a tactic. It is a deep internal belief that your life will be amazing with or without her. The man who is afraid of losing the woman is the man who will almost certainly lose her. His fear will make him act in needy, insecure ways that suffocate her attraction. The man who is not afraid of losing her is the man who has the highest chance of keeping her, because his lack of fear allows him to act from a place of pure, unshakable confidence. This is the mindset of detachment. It means you are outcome independent. Of course, you'd prefer for things to work out with her, but your happiness and your self-worth are not dependent on that outcome. You are not seeking her approval. You are living a life aligned with your own values. When you embody this mindset, everything changes. You stop overanalyzing her every word. You stop trying to craft the perfect response. You stop walking on eggshells. You just are. You are free to be your authentic self because you're no longer attached to a specific result. How do you get this mindset? It comes from building a life you truly love. It comes from knowing, deep in your bones, that you bring immense value to the table. It comes from the self-respect you build by hitting the gym when you don't feel like it, by chasing your goals relentlessly, and by refusing to settle for less than you deserve. When you reach this state, her pulling away no longer feels like a threat. It just feels like a filter. It's simply information. If she comes back, great. If she doesn't, it means she wasn't the right person for you, and you are now free to find someone who is. This is the ultimate position of power. It's the difference between desperately buying and being the prize. And everyone wants to win the prize. If you follow these steps, doing nothing, recentering on your purpose, and adopting a mindset of detachment, there's a good chance you'll shift the dynamic. The space you created may allow her to miss you, and your focus on your own life will make you seem more interesting and attractive. Sooner or later, you might get a text. It could be a simple "hey" or "sorry, been swamped," or a reply to an old Instagram story. This moment is just as critical as when she first pulled away. How you handle her re-engagement will either solidify your new, powerful frame or cause you to slide right back into the needy guy she was backing away from. Here's the playbook. First, don't be cold or punitive. Don't ignore her for 3 days to punish her. That's playing games, and it shows you were emotionally affected. A truly confident man is unbothered. He's not holding a grudge. Second, don't be overly enthusiastic. If you immediately hit her back with a paragraph about how great it is to hear from her, you undo all the work you just did. You signal that you were just sitting by the phone waiting. Your response should be warm, but calm and concise. Match your energy, but with a slight delay that shows you were busy living your life. For example, if she says, "Hey, sorry I've been so Mia, work has been crazy," a weak response is, "Oh my God, hey, no worries at all, I totally get it. So happy to hear from you, I was starting to get worried. How have you been? I've missed you." A powerful response is, "All good. Hope you're crushing it." Or maybe, "No problem, been busy over here too. Hope all is well." See the difference? The first one is desperate for validation. The second is calm, confident, and assumes the best. It's friendly, but it doesn't give away your power. You aren't chasing the conversation. You're letting her come to you. After this brief exchange, the most important step is to take the lead. Don't fall back into an endless texting marathon. The whole point of texting is to set up an in-person meeting. After 1 or 2 messages, your goal is to steer the interaction toward a date. And you have to do it from a position of confident leadership. Don't ask, "So would you maybe want to hang out sometime next week if you're not too busy?" That's weak and tentative. Instead, you state your intention clearly and decisively. "Good to hear from you. I'd like to see you. Let's grab a drink Wednesday night." This isn't a question, it's a confident invitation. You are leading. You are decisive. You are setting the terms. This reestablishes the polarity that's so essential for attraction. You're taking control in a way that makes her feel she is with a man who knows what he wants. She'll either agree to the plan or suggest a different day. Either way, you have successfully moved things forward from a position of strength, not neediness. The next time you feel a woman you're dating start to pull away, I want you to resist every single panic-driven instinct you have. I want you to see it not as a rejection, but as an invitation to step into your own power. It's your opportunity to demonstrate the kind of unshakable, centered confidence that is both rare and deeply attractive. Stop chasing. Stop asking what's wrong. Stop trying to fix it. Instead, do nothing. Give her space. Let her feel your absence. Then, take all of that anxious energy and pour it back into your own life, your mission, your health, your purpose. Rebuild your world so that you are the unshakable center of it. Adopt the mindset that you are the prize, and be genuinely willing to walk away from anyone who doesn't see your incredible value. This strategy isn't just about getting the girl back. It's about a fundamental shift in how you see yourself. It's about becoming a man whose self-worth isn't up for negotiation. It's about building a life so fulfilling that anyone who joins you is simply a bonus, not the source of your happiness. When you operate from this frame, you won't just find that women are more attracted to you. You'll build a resilience that will serve you in every single part of your life. If this resonated with you, and you've been through this push-pull dynamic before, drop a comment below. Share your story or just write "frame" to show you understand this principle. The community here is a powerful place to learn and grow. And if you want to keep going on this journey to becoming a more confident, centered man who truly understands attraction, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. We're just getting started.